Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted GM, Brian, welcoming you once again to the show. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you awesome fellow slingers out there that are subscribing to the show and leaving us those 5-star ratings and reviews. It is really bolstering the show, and I got to tell you, I'm really pleased with seeing that. Also, it looks like we're starting to get some fans that are digging our newest Hard Slinger, David Radke. He makes an awesome addition to our digital rage room. Please don't forget the other Hard Slingers as well. These guys, they've been busting butt as well and killing kobolds and everybody else. Oh no, don't take me alive. Yes, those guys. Remember those guys from the Blood Valor? You bet. Anyways, please, on whatever podcast app you listen to the show on, continue leaving us that 5-star rating and review. It goes a long way. Also, don't forget, tell your friends. And if you don't have any friends, make some friends, because this is a huge hobby that we all really enjoy. And I know that it's just strange that you find people that are in this niche that you didn't think would be, and then you start talking to them about this awesome hobby that we really enjoy, and next thing you know, you realize that, hey, they're playing it too, or hey, they're listening to it too. They say, what podcast do you listen to? Well, I listen to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. Really? Me too. Aren't those guys great? You bet. Did you leave them that 5-star rating and review? You bet I did. I also subscribe to their YouTube channel at Roll the Hard 20. Yeah, man. What'd you do? Well, I smashed that like button and I subscribed to their channel. Keep up the good work, all you fellow slingers. Remember, we dig you. We dig you each, and we dig you all. Well, let's see. I think I've got just about everything I needed to say, get it out of the way early. So why don't we warm up our dice and top off our glass as Roll the Hard 20 podcast presents episode 33 of our Dragon's Demand run through, Taking Inventory. Yeah, see what Hunclay left behind. Don't be stealing anything, you hard slingers. I'm watching you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that be behind. Sending out you're so busy today sending out all of your memes.
I know. Well, some of those memes I sent you were from last night, and I just knew you were sleeping.
Some dude with a fucking hemorrhoid just passing logs, and then you see a scalpel.
An animated version of it.
It resonated with me though, man. It resonated with me.
Don't even want to know.
It spoke to me.
Hey, Junior, you should go over to meatspin.com. Just don't do it on a work. Don't do it on a work computer. I don't know if it, dude. I don't know if that site is still around or not. I don't know, but
well, he was messaging me throughout the day, and I actually was trying to think, is he working today? And then he sends me the picture of the car that's all busted up out back. I'm like, God, he must just have time on his hands.
It was a 0 fucks day. So I got over it after 10 o'clock.
I'll save you the let's see if Meatspin's still around.
Let's not do that while we're recording.
No, I muted it, dude. I muted it.
I could see it in your glasses. Oh no.
Yeah.
You're sharing screen. You're scaring me.
Yeah, I didn't say not watch it. Just zoom in or something.
Those good times. I needed this tonight, man. It's been a freaking crazy week.
Everybody ready,
man.
We got Thanksgiving coming up in the real time when we're recording this.
Yeah, and if you get to Lowe's or Home Depot, I'm sure they have the 4th of July
stuff
decorations out by now. Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Dude, I went to look for Halloween decoration stuff like October 13th. They had just a small little corner, and that was it.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was all Christmas. I was like, what the fuck? We're still in October.
Yeah, we did the same thing. We went to go try to buy some skeletons at Lowe's because we saw them there like a week earlier. So Brandy and I both walk in the store because it was off to the right when you walk in. We just stopped and paused. It looked like a winter wonderland. They had all the lit up reindeer and shit and the candy canes and the lights and
I
You know,
do
all the fake
not
trees.
miss retail.
And the
For
cute
that
little
very thing.
elves.
My my
It's got the
favorite
little elves.
my favorite meme going around right now is we will end the war on Christmas when Christmas stops occupying Thanksgiving. Or no, occupying November.
Yeah, it used to be you would start listening to Christmas music 2 weeks before Christmas, and then it went to the beginning of Thanksgiving to Christmas, and now it's like all November long.
Well,
you know?
that's because you're a
Not
baby
this
junior.
guy.
That's because you're
I
a
love
baby
it.
junior.
I know. I'm a child, but around Thanksgiving, I start playing it because my favorite man's coming out, Mr. Buble.
I thought you were like
Michael,
going Asian
yes.
for a minute when you said around.
Around.
Around?
My wife's birthday is at the beginning of December, so my tradition, I get her a new Christmas CD because she loves the holidays. So I get her
Thank
that
you.
and
Mariah
we can
Carey.
jam all December.
With more
I think I got
festive.
Buble last year.
Extra festive.
Esther.
It's like with extra screams. Nice.
Yeah. Well, Mariah Carey actually did that. She came out with her original Christmas album, and then she came out one with another one a few years, like 5 years later. It was called Extra Festive.
Didn't you say it was the same album?
It's like the same song. She just re-recorded them.
Made them extra festive.
Yeah, extra festive. Got to sprinkle that extra screams in there.
What?
There was an episode of Cribs, and literally Mariah Carey just walked around her house trying on different outfits for like probably 3 hours. I would watch that shit all day.
On loop.
Yeah, I'm like, she's got a boa now. This is nice. Okay, doing a little
Roll of
spin.
toilet paper.
Yeah,
Full pumper of Jergens.
she's got a duvet.
None of
No.
that aloe vera bullshit.
That
It's
lanolin
just
shit.
lanolin.
That lanolin.
That lanolin shit.
Little Jergens and a Bug's Life fleshlight. You're all set.
You guys fans of the big hit?
I love that movie. That's where you got that from. That's what he was talking about.
The guy, my sister saw that movie before me, and she's horrible. So she showed me, and the picture where the guy's face is actually up on the poster in the adult shop. He's like
Yeah.
the number one customer.
Customer of the
Bokeem-
month. It's all crunch. He's just all
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like in the middle of the fight scene too. So he looks up, and they're like, it stops. They're like, wait, and then they go back to fighting.
He's got that eagle claw.
Oh yeah,
Mattress springs.
Well, with the eagle claw out of the way, let's bring this shit home. Actually, before we begin, let me lead us in first, then we'll make something else. Ready, guys?
Yes.
Ready.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
eat.
Greetings, fellow slingers. Welcome back to Roll the Hard 20 podcast. It is I, your trusted GM, Brian, and with me, the Hard Slingers.
Hoo-ha!
Yeah, episode
Oh yeah.
33 of our Dragons Band run through. Before we begin, though, I want to give a shout out to Boyd Jones. You subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Pass that on. We
Thank
love
you,
you,
Boyd.
Boyd. Yeah, Boyd.
that's the dude for my 5e game. No bullshit.
I know.
Awesome.
That's what
That's
I figured
awesome.
when you said that that you've been passing it on. I was like, right on. But it populated in my email account. Every time I get a subscriber, I see the population of that. So I want to give Boyd a shout out. Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
man.
I really appreciate it. I hope you like the material. Now moving on to something important, like your demise. So currently you guys are standing in front of Hunclay Manor. The door is closed. Now, 3 of you have been in the manor before. You were supposed to be going to the Blood Vow Lair, but instead you made a slight detour to the manor. And at the time, you saw Caladistina, who is the town undertaker, and she was waiting for some form of release to remove the kobold that was cooked in front of the door. And at the time, there was also one deputy mule was hanging out there as well. She eventually took the body, and he said he would watch out front for you for a few minutes. You guys went into the manor for about 5 minutes, and you explored around a few rooms. You heard the birds going ape shit at the back of the entrance and everything. And you found a dining room and a spiral staircase that went up or down. You decided to go down and found a storage room, and then that led into a long hallway that stretched north and south and did some other stuff. And you guys started hearing him yelling from above, "Hey, I got to close this place up." All that is still fresh in your mind, except for you, Dempsey. You haven't been in the manor yet, but there's a reason why you should be here as well. And that's your little secret. So as you guys stand in front of this closed door, right now it's probably about 4:30 after you did all your business in Belhaim. What would you like to do?
I believe Dempsey was already at the front door, if I recall. He was ready to bust in for us.
Bust.
And when we were going, I think Warren was reaching, and he just kind of very politely, kind of the two fingers on Warren's chest, and kind of with a nod, kind of let him know, I got this. And then he reaches for the handle of the door and twists it to open it.
And it does twist. It has remained unlocked since the last time the three of you were in this manor.
So
My son is calling me, but I can't take the call. Bad times, Gavin. Sorry, I love you.
Well, either Flint or Chris has possession of the keys. I don't know if it was for his manor, but let's try the keys out.
Well, the door
Flint
is
will-
unlocked.
Door's unlocked.
The door's unlocked.
Door is unlocked. I thought you said it was locked.
No,
Yeah.
I just said it was closed. But you do have a ring that has two keys. One's a iron key and one is a bronze key, I believe.
So push the door open and see what we can see.
As you push the door open, things are very similar to how they were before. You see a large room in front of you. It's 40 feet from left to right, and it extends forward about 65 feet. And then at the northern end, you see it has a curvature to it. You see in the middle of the room, there are 3 couches that face each other on a large rug. Against the northern wall, you see a large bird cage that's probably about 10 feet in diameter. Right to your left against the west wall is a door that's closed. And against the middle of the eastern wall is another door that is closed.
Warren, do you recall that door was open the last time we were here on the
one
west
on-
wall?
The one on the west. Well, yes. Didn't we go down it? I thought
We
we went
did.
down it and looked at the two. So I wonder if there has been someone else in here. What type of flooring is there in here?
It's all stone.
Hmm.
Make a perception check, everybody.
Ooh.
Warren.
20. Flaccid 20.
Well, it's to be.
Dose. Actually, no. Sorry, no. 13.
13. Flint.
I didn't add my modifier.
8.
8. Dempsey.
23. I rolled a 16.
23.
Damn.
As the four of you, by the way, it's important that I know if you have a marching order or where everybody is in the room.
Yeah, the tanks up front.
Like wherever you go.
Absolutely.
That way I could describe things to that particular individual. So it doesn't look
I
like
think Dempsey has taken point. It sounds like either Warren or Stabby will be second. The other one would be the third. And I'm assuming Flint is covering our asses as usual.
Okay.
I'll take
Covering up the rear.
Dempsey, you've never been in this place before, but the first thing that strikes you is how quiet it is. As for
Yeah, the birds are gone.
As for Warren and Stabby, you don't hear the birds at all. The cage is still there, but the entire room is very quiet.
So I'll step in and listening to that, kind of look back at the other guys. Thought this was supposed to be dangerous. And he just kind of put his hands up like, what's going on?
Sorry, did you expect books to come flying off the wall and beat you senseless?
Looks a little sheepish. I didn't honestly know what to expect.
Well, truth be told, we're not completely certain either. Brian, I will cast Detect Magic real quick and basically see, are there concentrations of magic? What type of magic? I think you said that from the outside, the whole place lit up with evocation.
Yes, that's correct. And even in this room, you get that aura as well as other mixtures of different, almost like samplings of other magic throughout the whole room that extend along the walls, along the stone ceiling, and the stone floor. You get the feeling that the whole place is pretty much set up to be a fortress of some type. I'm at a loss for the word I want to look for here.
Like a keep?
Kind of like that, yeah. Almost like a last bastion.
So Stabby grabs Dempsey's arm and just kind of tugs on it to get his attention. Dempsey, proceed carefully. Something has changed since the last time we've been here. These doors on the west were open, and we heard there was a bird in the cage on that northeast.
There were several birds.
There were several birds. Yeah.
Yes, several birds.
Proceed carefully. Somebody's been here.
Understood. I think he'll just start walking across the room and looking for tracks, looking for what happened to the birds that they're talking about in this cage.
So tell me where you want to go.
Can he cross the room past the couches and up? I think you said it was on the north side to where the bird cage is. And just see other feathers.
Now, remember the layout that I gave you guys of what the blueprint looks like? You could kind of get an idea what it is. Now the dimensions from what I described versus
we'll
keep going. The dimensions for what I described versus the dimensions of the blueprint are different. But I believe that Grengol had described that the stones that they had shipped and built this thing out of were very, very thick. They weren't just like 6-8 inches. They were like feet thick is what this place is made out of. So as you start making your way to the northern part of this room, you look inside the bird cage and you see there's 5 dead birds laying on the bottom of this cage.
Is there any observable trauma?
Now, I'm assuming you're still at the door unless you tell me you crossed the room. So I'm saying I need to know where everybody's going so I can describe exactly what you guys see.
I'm back at the front still. I haven't moved forward.
Warren would be following Dempsey.
Okay.
Kind of lean, like cocks his head back to the other two and whistles like, hey, here's your birds.
I tell you, this guy, man.
Unfortunate. The birds too. Looking down at the birds, are they you okay, man?
You keep dropping.
You're muted.
I'm okay, but I don't know what's going on with my connection. It's like glitching in and out.
Okay.
Everything's working fine right now.
Okay. We'll see how long that lasts. I look down at the birds. does it look like they have been affected by anything, or are they just suddenly dead?
Why don't you make a perception check?
6. I am probably distracted by any magical auras that are nearby.
What is that cantrip called? What is that you
Detect magic.
detect magic?
Yeah.
You
So-
can't.
Go ahead.
You can't discern what took these birds out. They're just 5 dead birds. However, you do detect magic on the ankle of the largest bird. There appears to be something around its ankle.
Is the cage magic at all?
It doesn't appear to be, no.
Okay, I will very, very cautiously reach out. And actually with my dagger in hand, I will just flip the latch of the cage. And then kind of like with the tip of my dagger, like move the bird around so I can get a closer look at whatever's on its ankle.
Okay, as you flip it, like a rotisserie chicken, you basically flip this dude over. You see that on its ankle appears to be some kind of a key, like a silver key.
Interesting. Okay. I will Warren will pull out
Good advice.
a pen, huh?
What he said, you're going to pull out. It's a good advice.
Scientific birth control.
Correct. Gravity. You can never get pregnant if she's on top.
Oh, whatever. I use the lunar cycle.
So did Mel Gibson.
I'm just not. I'm going to move on past this. So, Warren is going to take out a sheaf of papers, like a small, almost notepad of sorts, and an inkwell pen, and we'll start jotting down and taking inventory, including observations. He will start inventorying, starting with like the bird cage, and we'll give super rough description, like gold bird cage, large, 6 feet tall, 3 feet diameter base, and then in parentheses like 5 dead birds inside. He will just give like quick little annotation notes of things.
Make sure
like
you're
that.
right. There's a red one. It's important.
Yeah.
Well,
I can only
it's
imagine
important until that
Warren,
thing
like-
gets plucked and cooked.
Warren writing down birds, bird cage, scratch off birds.
As you're doing all that magic stuff.
As you're
Dempsey
doing
is
all of your
like
inventory of the Hunclay Manor.
Mhm.
I got to say, I'm very proud of you, Warren, for that.
For what?
Just the way that you found the key and that you're still staying on task.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you a gold doubloon.
Careful, that may be coming back at you real soon.
I appreciate it. I look forward to it.
Stabby's still up at the by the front door, and he looks in the direction of Warren and Dempsey. Flint, I believe you're still with me.
Yeah, I'm right behind you.
As long
And
as the Wi-Fi allows.
Stebby looks in their direction and whistles and puts his arm up like, what's going on? Shrugs his shoulders, saying, what's going on?
What the fuck?
TikTok.
TikTok.
Warren just turns around and says, well, we are here for something. And he kind of like wags the papers, and the birds have died. I don't know what from. I don't see like obvious like blood or anything. I'm assuming I would be able to see that without like even I assume I would notice if like the bottom of the cage was covered in blood and like a head was bashed open.
Yeah, no, there's no blood anywhere in the cage at all.
Okay.
There's also no food and no water, though.
Right. So Warren turns back and says, the birds are dead. I'm assuming they starved or dehydrated. But there does seem to be something here, and Warren will take a closer look at the key. What type of magic aura is the key giving off?
Illusion.
Illusion. So he'll kind of like poke at it a little bit with his dagger. Does it look like it has like a latch that can be removed?
From the leg of the bird?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually looks as though it resembles a charm that's in the shape of a key. And it's folded around the bird's leg.
Interesting.
Almost like hinged around the leg. Like if it were to come off, it could straighten out, or it could fold back up.
Okay. Warren will very, very carefully, gingerly try to unhinge it from the bird's leg.
Okay. It doesn't require any deft skill at all. It's just basically where the teeth of the key meet the ring aspect. It just unsnaps and then hinges open.
Okay. Who's got the key ring?
Flint does.
Okay. Warren will gesture over to him, and like a ghostly hand will take the key ring across the room.
You lazy
and drop
dog.
it in front of Flint.
You drop it in front of him?
The hand will float there for a second, and then if Flint doesn't take it, the hand just drops it.
Well, he's a dwarf.
Yeah,
He's
I'll
close
put
to the ground. He's 50%
Yeah.
down already. So
As opposed
Flint ends
to
up
the
extending
halfling,
his
which is
hands.
100% down there already.
So I think Dempsey will be like, any of you know anything about birds? They didn't tell me much about this place. Did the guy just pack up and leave his pets?
No, we we suspect that he was. I'm yelling across the room still. I'm still up front. We suspect that Hunclay was involved in the kobolds below the wizard's tower, and we believe we found what was his body.
How long was he dead?
Very difficult to tell. And while
I think it was
It's
a
like 4
matter of a
days or
few
so.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start
So-
crossing the room back over to where you guys are so we're not
So-
shouting.
as
I'm
you're
moving forward.
walking back across, Stabby, you and Flint have remained at the door, correct? You guys are in the
Yes.
inside the building.
Yep.
As this rapport is going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, you both hear a tick, and then the floor beneath your feet swings down. And I need for you both to make a reflex save, as basically the floor just opens up beneath you.
That'd be acrobatics.
Nope.
No, reflex.
Oh, reflex.
Yeah, you have a
Flex,
reflex save.
flex.
Should be one of the 4 saves. Or, well, 3 saves.
Three
actually.
saves.
Sorry. Well, I always, for some reason, I always considered the AC as a save, stupidly, but
I mean, actually, 4th edition kind of treats them all as defenses.
yeah.
Kind of what it is. I mean,
Mhm.
fortitude, you're defending against sickness.
Yeah.
18.
Flint got a 19 for Flint.
Okay. You both manage to fall down 10 feet and take half damage. You take 2 points of damage each.
2 points.
I'll rush over to the edge. Look down. Are you okay?
Yeah,
I'm fine.
yeah, we're okay. This caught me by surprise.
I look back
What-
over Warren like you weren't kidding.
And as soon as you say that, Warren makes a gesture in an ear in the air, and you actually see like force wrap around him as he decides that it would be more prudent to put up his mage's armor.
What does your mage armor look like? Is it like stylized?
No, honestly, it's mostly, it looks as it's being cast, like it's just kind of warping the air around it for a second, and then it kind of like smooths over so you can't tell that it's actually there.
a
Dempsey,
force
help
field.
me up. Help me up.
All right. You
Want
said
a
he's 10
life
feet
lock?
down?
Beep, 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 beep. Help me! I've
I've
fallen and I
fallen
can't get
and I
up.
can't get up. Help me out of this pit.
Look around. Any of you guys have a bit of rope?
I think Flint does have rope and climbing gear, so Flint could actually toss up the rope that he has.
Yeah, toss it up. I'll belay for you.
All right. How far did we fall? 10 feet?
Just
you
10
said?
feet. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll toss the rope up. I don't think I need to save or anything for that.
No, and judging by the distance that you fell down, it wouldn't take too long for you both to get out. So,
Oh.
Just given enough time, you guys would eventually defy the odds, and Flint, you would get out, and Stubby, you would eventually climb on his back and get out as well. So, Master Blaster rising out of the pit one more time.
The depth of the pit, is that because we had gone at least briefly down to the basement last time we were here? Was
Yes,
it
but
as far down as that?
It was further. You went further down than the 10 feet. And the reason why it didn't trigger off last time was because everybody entered and kept moving. I don't know if you remember last time I asked you, where is everybody at and where are they going? And nobody
We walked
remained.
immediately into the
Yeah,
room.
nobody remained at the front door. Otherwise, it would have triggered that trap as well. So,
Might
little
be a good
behind the
idea to look
scenes for
around
all
and
of you.
see
That's
if there's
right.
any other traps in this vicinity.
but it might give you an idea of what you're maybe in for. So eventually,
Flint will look over to Dempsey and be like, "And you were saying there is no harm in this house?"
Yeah. So if we're talking about marching order, I definitely think I should be up front, and then maybe I'm assuming the rogue is good at trap finding. Like you could be like behind me, also looking at that stuff. So look at it together, and then I can actually make the approach.
Yeah, if you want to take the front, that's fine. Who did you want to bring up the second, Stubby, or Warren?
Yeah,
Do you want to
I'll
bring
bring
up second?
No, it sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Flint, you gonna bring up the rear?
Yes.
Copy that. Okay. It just makes it easier also when I'm looking at the tracker, how I know somebody would see something first or second, or I could ask so and so to make a check or whatever.
The door that you guys mentioned was closed, that was open last time. I kind of want to get a look at that. That's like standing out to me.
Well, they had opened it last time
Okay.
and they left it open, and now it's closed. And that's
I
the one
would-
that's against the western wall.
We're all standing at the top of this 10-foot pit, right? Except for Warren. Warren, you're still over. You're still over with the
your mic
birds.
dropped, Warren.
Oh, sorry. I turned my mic off because there was an ambulance going by.
We need
Yeah,
it.
no, Warren stayed over at the other side because it looked like Dempsey had everything in hand and they were not blood curdling screams of death.
Hey, Dempsey, do you want to wait for Warren before we go look at this door on the west side that was previously open, is now closed?
Yeah, let's
Well,
stay together.
we can do that. We have been sent here for a task, so I don't know if you want to start with this room.
That was actually Dempsey that I asked that question of.
No, you asked Warren.
No, I asked Dempsey.
Well, you said waiting for Warren, so Warren chimed in.
Oh, I just heard Warren.
Dempsey,
Warren, do you want to add anything to this?
Flint's checking out the key and watching you guys go back, just figuring out where we're going to start in this room, in this house.
Dempsey, I'm gonna go check that door for traps. Would you like to accompany me?
Sure. Is there anything else that we should be looking at? I mean, bookcases or anything? Like, if it's just the couches and stuff, I feel like this is kind of, we've got this room sort of figured out. Obviously,
yeah, really,
we wanna move
the only
over.
thing in this room, other than the nice couches and this beautifully ornate cage, you also see that what else was in there? There was a large, beautiful rug. I think it was a Osirian make that was covering the floor as well. And these are like the kind of things I think that maybe she was saying to inventory, so eventually they could sell it off at the auction.
Warren is actually gonna go a little above and beyond as we take inventory. So Warren actually has the appraise skill.
Nice.
So he's going to just like jot in the margins, like estimated net worth, particularly of key items.
Okay.
Such as the cage, the furniture.
The cage itself.
The garage sale version of it. Give you $5 for it.
Shut up, you slob. I actually have this written down somewhere. Hold on a second. Thanks for nothing, Warren, you bastard.
Stebby is growing kind of impatient with the
with the DM because he's got to find the stupid page of all his shit.
He's growing.
I mean,
he's growing impatient with just that we're kind of standing around and
doing what we were asked.
Okay, yeah. Tell me what you want to do, and then I could, as I'm getting through all this stuff, I'll give Warren what he wanted to know.
I don't like Ryan doesn't need to know the actual numbers. I'm just stating that Warren is going to be
okay. Got it. Okay, cool.
Making notes as he goes.
Very good. Thank you.
We go through the couch cushions and see if there's any like remote controls or.
Thank you for not turning my show into a fucking pawn shop review.
Best I can do.
The silver coins.
Yeah, right. Yeah, how much is this eagle back coin worth?
Anyways, no, but please continue with Stabby and Dempsey.
Well, they went through the door, right? And they're checking for traps. Okay, go ahead and make your inspection.
It's my perception check. That is going to be an 18.
An 18. The door does not appear to be trapped.
I look back at Dempsey and this door looks clear. You want to give this a try? Open this door up.
All right. So he kind of blows into his hand and then reaches out to the door hand. I don't know why doorknob is escaping me right now. Reaches out to the doorknob, twists it, and sees it, gives it a pull.
And it actually pushes.
Or push.
Yeah, and you see it stretches out before you, a 35-foot long hallway. This is the one that you remember seeing before, Stibby. We're down at the opposite, at the very end, opposite each other are two doors that are closed. One in the north wall, one in the south wall.
And still, we don't hear any movement.
No, you're not hearing anything. It's still very quiet in here. Very similar to how it was last time, with the exception of the birds going crazy. Most likely they were very agitated, not just because new people were in there, but probably because they were so hungry.
So last time you all were here, there was nothing, right?
Only the birds, Dempsey. All we heard was the birds. This hall, as we went down, we've already looked at the room on the north end of this hall and the south end, and we didn't find anything of particular interest. But somebody has been here. Something may have changed since we were here last.
And I'll just give a nod to Warren as he's, doing his tasks. Obviously, we're not going to move ahead until he's ready.
Flint, what are you doing? You stand next to that pit still, or what's going on with that?
No, I'm in the middle of the room by the couches. I'm just waiting to move on to the next room. I don't, can I make there wasn't really much other than what you described in this room, I take it then. Can I make a perception for anything that might fit a small key? Because that's kind of what Flint's interest is at, where this other key might belong to.
Okay. Tell me how you want to go about making that check. I mean, you're looking at anything around, right?
Anything like within the walls, like any kind of like chest, sculpture of some kind that might have just some kind of hole in it.
And you don't see anything like that. Like I said, all you see are the sofas that are on top of that rug. You see the cage, you see the two doors, you see other little ornate bullshit around the walls, like a couple dozen paintings, all with gilded frames, portraits of landscapes and other shit like that. Just other weird, exquisite artistry.
Okay. While everyone's doing that, Flint wants to take the time and actually move the couches off the really nice rug
Okay.
and carefully flip the rug off of where it's located. Just kind of like see if anything's underneath it.
Okay. Yeah, good. You roll it over and take a look, and you see that it's stone floor just like everything else that's around it, except for it's probably a little cleaner. But yeah, you see that from your perspective that the floor is complete.
Okay. He'll move towards Stabby and Dempsey to see what they're up to.
I think
You guys gonna go through the hallway, or
I'm just standing there like shadow boxing and like looking at the paintings.
Yeah, and you still got you got this door that leads down to those other two rooms, the door in the east wall, and then the spiral staircase that goes up and down. So
I mean, if there's just the furniture and the bird cage and like the rug in here, I don't think Warren will take more than a couple of minutes. So once he's done, he'll go and join the others.
And this is really the entrance, to of his manor. This isn't
The grand foyer.
Let's socialize. Let's have some funky shit going on here. It's just the entry of whatever's been going on.
Flint's interested in going to that one room that had the large table, like their meeting room. You said there's pictures and shelves with books and stuff on it.
Yeah, that was the there was a parlor, which was in the northern wall, again, in the northern door, and that had that huge globe of Galarian that had gold latitude and silver longitude lines, and it was all crusted with different gems to mark the continents and whatnot in the oceans. It also had like the sextant and astrolobes and all these other little things that kind of denote some kind of astronomy or astrology dabblings. But you remember that the door in the southern wall led to a large dining room that had a table with pictures of pyramids all around it, and plates and other stuff already on the table. So you tell me where you would like to go.
I mean, Flint's interested in going to the study or downstairs. I mean, where do you guys want to start?
Hearing about this globe and all that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, wasn't that in the southern room on the west wing?
The northern room.
Northern room. Okay.
Yeah.
So cautiously
head to
that's the door. That's the hallway you guys are looking down. It's the western hallway. So
yes.
After seeing the hallway or the pit trap, I think Dempsey's just gonna cautiously walk, kind of testing each tile as he gets closer. And then when he gets to the door, he just kind of like gestures at Stebby.
And that's the thing. The floor is not tile. It's like stone.
Yeah.
The masonry.
Is that what the front was? Sorry.
Yeah. Everything was stone.
It's still
Even the one that opened up, that trap, that was stone as well. Albeit that stone was thinner. So
this place is tricky.
Okay. Wait for Stabby to inspect the door. I am still running around with Detect Magic up, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, you're getting the feel of that throughout the whole house.
Okay.
We're all at the door entrance now, including Warren.
Okay.
To that hall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Dempsey, do you want to start moving down this hall? I'll closely follow until we get to that door.
Yep.
So I'll follow Dempsey down that hall, and then I yell back, Flint, you want to go to the south door, right?
Correct.
Okay, Dempsey, I'm gonna see if I can find a trap on the south door.
Sure. I'll just step kind of past that in that little alcove, past the two doors, and just make way for you.
Okay. So I'll do a perception check. It's going to be a 31. That is a hard 20.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
there you go.
hard 20.
Wow.
Love it. Remember?
You
Right
you
into the
even
show?
know where the tree that made this door came from.
Yeah, if you guys write into the show, first person to write in, we'll send you a D20 with one of the stickers of the show. Just let us know who to send it to, and we'll give you a shout out as well. So you open up the southern door, right? Is that what you're doing?
No,
Or you're just checking
I
the
was
trap? Okay.
detecting trap.
You don't detect any traps, just like last time. It's still benign.
Okay, Dempsey, this door looks good, my friend.
With the, with his assurance, I'll reach out and open that door too, or try to.
And it opens. It swings, like the handle's on the left, so it swings open to your right. And you see before you, because you hadn't seen this room before, it's a large dining room with a long oak table that's surrounded by these ornately carved oak chairs. On each wall hangs large framed paintings of desert landscapes and pyramids and whatnot. They appear to be hand drawn though. And
Must
there's
be a pretty friendly
about 8
neighborhood.
of these total.
But wants to enter the room as well, and
Oh.
he's going to start examining the paintings and looking. I can't remember because we kind of weren't looking for anything in particular last time we were at the manor, but were there titles of either the art name or locations of what they were for the paintings?
There were nothing, no artist had signed it, nor was it any locale. Why don't you do a knowledge geography for me?
Give me 1 second. Knowledge geography. I don't think I have that on my skill list.
Am I going by an old list here?
No, knowledge geography is a sub class of knowledge.
I think unless you have points in it, you can't access it.
Yeah,
Right.
you have to have at least 1 point to make that check. So
Okay,
you may
then
not have
I-
any points in that skill.
Probably not then, because I don't see it on my list. Just regular perception or
Make a knowledge check on it.
That's just gonna be straight up int if you don't actually have any ranks.
okay. That's going to be a 10.
A 10. You're really not familiar where if this is an actual place that's been drawn, or if it's some kind of fabrication. You don't know if it's out of somebody's imagination or if it depicts a real geographical location. I don't know if I remember mentioning last time, but there's a large window against the western wall. It's of stained glass, and right beneath that is like a cabinet, just a small little credenza.
Flint would head over to the cabinet and examine the contents of it.
Okay, you open it up. You see there's silverware, knives, forks, spoons, cutlery. The other drawers got like saucers, and then down below would be the plates and the coffee cups and stuff. It's basically the place to keep all of the the dining utensils and whatnot for the table itself.
What quality is the dining set? Is this like a high-end
It's
Royal
very high
Noble
end,
type?
from what you can
He's,
tell.
he's gonna
you're
make
probably
off
used
with
to,
the silver now.
you're probably used to eating off of paper plates with wooden forks and shit, sporks, you know, and so anything's probably high quality if it's got some kind of metal composition to it. But I mean, you have to make some kind of an appraisal on that to determine.
Oh, you don't say.
Give it to me. Within reason.
Okay.
Stebby rolls his eyes.
And what comes up when he does?
The same old shit.
Warren got a 16 on an appraisal.
It's 16. It looks like the silverware itself is made from silver. You know, so the metal is actual silver, and the plates and the cups and everything are made of a really fine porcelain that's got a really high grain to it. So it's super smooth.
Warren will, as going through and looking at everything, is jotting down on the inventory list. Moves on to the next page. Continues jotting down.
Flint, as you're standing in front of the credenza, you know, with the window above, you notice that the window itself is just really thick. It's probably like 2 or 3 feet thick. This mosaic of glass.
Is there any imagery on the stained glass, or is it just color
No.
blend?
Just exactly. That's a great description. It's just color blended, but it's just, and there's no figures or any design in it. It's just thick
Iconography.
Yeah, nothing like that. So just really thick ass glass, and it
It's such a
appears to
nice
be one
place, you would
piece.
think it'd be locked.
Yeah. Flint would actually be examining the window and be like, have you guys ever seen a window this thick made out of one solid glass? It
You
strikes
would-
me a little odd.
You'd probably know better than us as a dwarf.
I just
Roll for
Yeah,
initiative.
heck.
oh, roll. Here we go.
Did you
Them
guys hear that?
fighting words.
What do you mean?
Did you guys hear that?
Hear what?
Did you guys hear that? It was
Is
the
the roll for initiative?
mic that just got dropped in the room.
Oh, the mic drop.
Anyway,
All right. Roll stone cunning then
Okay.
to examine the glass.
Now, do you want
Yes.
to know what if you've ever seen one of those before, or what are you trying to do?
What nah, I would probably seen where it's coming from. I totally forgot glass and stone, but I want to know if I know anyone in particular or have heard of this kind of like glass making style where they just made it that thick. Like, what was the principle of it?
Okay. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 21.
21. You've never heard of somebody making a large sheet of glass this big and this thick, but from your experience with working with stone and converting sand to glass, you would know that it would require a lot of heat, a lot of consistent heat, and it would have to take place over the entire area of that glass, of that sand. You know what I mean? In other words, you couldn't just like glass one part and then glass another part and hope it works. That would be 2 separate pieces. Whatever glassed this sand was put out a lot of heat and covered a lot of area enough to get through something that thick.
So it had to be a big work area in order to handle this.
Something like that, yeah, most likely. And you've probably never seen anything like that in your 100 and some odd years.
Flint is going to admire the craftsmanship and jot down some notes about this because now he's got some questions about the glass as well.
I mean, Warren can take a look at the glass from an appraisal standpoint.
From an appraisal standpoint, it would probably seem damn near priceless.
Load it up.
Probably never seen something like that either. And it doesn't look like it slides in or slides out. It's pretty flush to the thick walls.
Mm-hmm.
If the walls are 3 feet thick, it's 3 feet thick.
Is the window itself magical?
No.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing. If it might have been magical.
Well, as we work our way through, Warren's adding to the list. Is there anything else of note in here that catches our eyes?
That's it for the dining room area. The
Okay.
table and the paintings and the credenza full of silverware and porcelain plates and whatnot.
Okay.
Knowing nothing about building things or anything nice or appraising things, and really coming from a pretty modest background, I think Dempsey will do just kind of like a 360 of the room, just to kind of look around.
Whoa, man.
Look at the paintings. And he just kind of rests back by the door as everybody else is doing their stuff, just like ready to move whenever.
Arms
you guys
folded,
are.
kind
Yeah.
of 1 foot kicked back. It's like,
Yeah.
whenever you scumbags are ready, let's do this.
Well, shall we move to the study?
Yeah,
Stebby says yes, please. Stabby is clearly getting observably irritated with the time it's taking for us to complete this task.
Now you're talking about the room that's right across the hall, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think I denoted it as the parlor last time.
Oh, okay. Apologies.
No, it's no problem. I just, when you said study, I'm like, start going through my pages. I'm like, wait a second. Maybe they mean the parlor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I feel like
So-
me and the halfling are have to like start jumping rope to like have something to do, just to like keep us.
Well, you guys can certainly assist.
You guys could always break off if you want.
separate the party. It's always a good thing.
It's always a great idea.
It's
We'll go
a
down to the
way
basement.
expedite the inspection and inventory of Hunclay Manor. I mean, think about it. You got 4 guys that are all traveling into one room. You know how much ground you could cover if you separated into 2 parties or even into 4 separate parties. You guys can each go and inventory a room at a time. It has to be done by 6:30. Back at the Wise Piper, getting somebody's phone number, somebody's pager number.
Now we got to go to the Gray Hands first, and then the Wise Piper.
I'd like
Wise
to.
Pecker?
I'd like to roll a bullshit check.
You guys tell me what you want to do. I'm here to drive the
I
car.
think we're moving towards the parlor.
Oh,
and
right.
so having Dempsey and Stabby check the room.
Is
Or
that
check
door-
the door.
Is that parlor door open?
It is not as closed as well.
Okay, I will attempt to detect traps. That's a 15.
From what you can tell, it doesn't appear to be trapped.
Words. All right, I will try to open it.
And
Yeah,
it
Demps.
opens, handles on the right side, so it opens to the left, opposite the door, right across from the hall. Dempsey, the first thing you notice in this room, in this 30-foot by 40-foot wide room, is a deep, lush rug. Looks to be of foreign make. And it occupies the center of this of the floor here, with 4 small couches in each corner of the rug facing each other. And in the northeast corner, you see a huge, probably like 5-foot diameter globe of Galarian. This is how I was describing it before, with you see the gold longitude lines, you see fine silver that mark the latitude lines, the continents and the water are all represented, made of different gems, and it just looks beautifully crafted. You also see there's a small table that's about 5 feet in diameter as well, depicting. It's got all different stuff on like sextants and microscopes and other telescopes and other things like that.
Caterpillar fleshlights.
And all along the walls, you see paintings that just depict unearthly landscapes, and there's 8 of them on all the walls. It just they defy logic of how they look. They don't look like any type of a land that you would come across probably in Galarian.
Stebby nudges Dempsey and says, Dempsey, that globe, do you see the gold? That's got to be worth thousands of gold pieces.
Go look at it.
No, come with me. Come with me. We could split the profits.
What do you mean?
Nobody's here to check that we haven't inventoried this.
This little dude rolling out this fucking like a hamster in a ball.
I don't think it's a very good idea.
Why not? We could be rich.
Well, for a couple reasons. The first one being that's not what the job is. We're specifically told not to. The second one, the rest of us on this team aren't doing that. You know?
Stebby kind of Mrs. Dempsey's, his conscience.
Stabby is bummed that he can't use Dempsey as like the brawn of the operation.
Labor.
Totally. He wanted to get this dude like, yeah, let's get him on board.
You know what? If I stood on your shoulders, I could really command this thing much better. What? That's how this thing really works.
Well, let me just pull your hair. That way you know which direction to go.
Shoot a
What I'll do is
crossbow.
when I open up your right eye while covering it, that's the way I want you to go,
I think what I would do is walk over and just like give it a spin, just because he's never seen anything like that. And he's being that nothing else has happened, he's sort of letting his guard down.
And it's not slow to start. It's very smooth, and it rotates on a 15-degree axis. Very, very common to depict the world that you're currently living in. It's very smooth, and it just keeps going and going and going, like a very expensive spinner if you're into those things.
Nice.
Fidget
20
spinner,
grams.
Yeah.
world's most expensive fidget spinner.
You fit this on the side of a wagon, ladies love it.
Was there another
Like-
glass window in this room?
There's one against
In the
north
north, right?
wall. And it looks identical to the one that you just saw in the previous room. This one's
Wow.
same thing. It's like about
A couple feet thick.
yeah, it's easily 3 feet thick, but it's probably about 7 or 8 feet wide, squared, which is the exact same dimension as the other one.
And then
Well-
in the other room, you said there was 8 paintings as well.
Yes, that depicted
So-
foreign land of sand and pyramids and everything in the other room. In
In the
this
other
room,
room.
the 8 paintings depict like otherworldly landscapes.
Flynn, were you able to
Mm-hmm.
tell where that glass came from in the last room?
I came from that little Birkin spider. No, I wasn't able to. I haven't seen some craftsmanship like as impressive as this, but wherever it was from, it definitely required a large workspace.
Perhaps I can take a stab at knowing where this came from.
Oh my lord!
So, can I do? I think this applies a knowledge dungeoneering check where I can identify mineral, stone, or metal.
Okay,
It has a 10 difficulty check. And I rolled a 7.
it completely baffles you how they made Cheerios so tasty and yet so small.
Wow.
Quality shit.
Warren's just going through the room and taking inventory while this is all going on.
Yeah, and that, with all the fixtures and everything else, imagine this so far to this is probably the most expensive room that you've walked across so far.
The globe is the most expensive thing so far.
Yeah.
Are there any anything interesting in the desk? Any drawers that can't open?
No, they're just typical tables that are against the wall that have all these ornate tools that you would use if you wanted to look into the stars or whatnot. And it kind of depicts that with the paintings along the walls. They look as though they're constellations or borealises, things like that. And there's one or two of them that actually look almost as though like a hell type scape with a very dark background, like a lot of red up front with a lot of black in the back. And sorry.
No, you're not. You are not. Ladies and gentlemen, please excuse us while our trusted GM takes a moment to compose himself.
I'm good.
Because there's some joke that he has deigned not to share with everyone.
But yeah, there's only two that resemble that, where it almost looks like a hellscape up front with black behind it. But the other ones are all of different celestial bodies.
My character has no idea what any of this stuff is, so I imagine he just picks up one of the tools and very wrongly is like holding it irregularly, and he's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm a scientist," and he's looking at the
it's like a telescope. He's like looking at the wrong end,
like super
Dempsey, honestly, this
weird.
kind of shit is stuff that you would not have even seen, let alone read about in some kind of book. If you ever picked up a book that had a picture of this, most of the stuff that's in this manor are just, it's foreign, not just to you, but to everybody, but probably Warren or Stabby, who had probably stolen something like this at one time. It's very, very high end stuff.
Yeah, just very nicely put it back after I get my joke off.
Your grubby paws.
Yes.
Warren is again, he's just being very methodical going through. He will attempt to label the paintings by what he believes the vistas are. He understands that Hunclay was obviously an accomplished practitioner of the arts and thus may very well have seen other like planes, and these could very well be windows into that.
Good deal.
And also too, again, just combing the room with detect magic, seeing if anything aside from like the structure itself is very obviously magic.
You don't detect any magic in this room. And I remember you used that in here last time when you were trying to detect it on that giant globe. Mm-hmm. I think you guys were trying to investigate whether it came apart or if it had anything, any other value besides what it actually is, like arcane value. And there's nothing resonating from anything else in the room, not from the four couches or the rug or any of the paintings or any of the little, tchotchkes that are all about, on these tables and whatnot. But no.
Is there any other books in this parlor?
No, not here.
Okay.
No
books.
And that's strange too, because you would think that somebody that was as renowned as Hunclay would probably have books, and yet you haven't come across them yet.
Okay.
Somebody clean this
Do we
place
know?
out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Does it look like there's anything missing?
No, it looks exactly like you left it,
Except
with the
for the
exception
doors.
with the exception of the doors.
Interesting. Okay. Well, do you guys want to move to the basement now that we're done here, or the other side of the house?
Do like level by level.
Well, I don't think we've
The-
gone to the other side of the house.
No, I don't believe we
just
did.
went down to the basement. You guys
And
want to clear
that
this level?
spiral staircase went
Went
both
up and down, right?
and down. Yeah, you guys just decided to go down.
let's go ahead and just finish this level here, and then we can decide whether we want to go up or down.
Okay.
And also letting his guard down a little bit, Warren will go ahead and leave the room, heading towards the other wing, but we'll wait before like going in any door that has not already been gone through.
Okay. So you return back to the main gallery. Everybody make a perception check as you enter into the gallery. Dempsey.
17.
17. Flint.
16.
16. Stabby.
29.
And Warren.
20, not hard.
Lasted.
So the four of you enter into the main gallery, and you all pause at the same time as you prepare to go across to the door opposite. And for the first time, you notice that door is actually cracked, slightly ajar. And it wasn't like that when you first entered.
And
the
that's
residence.
that's the door on the northeast side of the gallery.
That's correct.
Stebby removes his rapier from its sheath.
And we'll find out what you do with that rapier next session.
Yeah. I'm ready to kill somebody.
Dude,
I
I'm
know,
gonna
you're
turn
just like
one of-
chomping at the bit. You should have made him a pacifist or something.
Somebody's gonna steal shit.
They could have used you in the blood vow.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
Definitely
right?
needed some help.
Yeah, they could have definitely used somebody that was a little more aggressive and could take a little bit more pain and punishment.